Hi dear students, welcome you all on the behalf of Rahul Anand Biology Tutorials. So as you know that I am Rahul Anand and this is somewhat around my channel whose name is actually the Rahul Anand Biology Tutorials. So now let's begin with the very interesting topics which are oftenly being asked in terms of your NEET, often the Aims, often the All India Pre-Medical Examinations. So these are literally belonging from which of the chapters of your book literally. So these are belonging from the human reproduction. So today we are going to study about what are actually the sperm. Remember, so a typical human sperm is literally consisting of the four of the different parts. So these are what? So these are the head, then the particularly neck, then the middle piece, then literally the tail. So what are actually the head? So your head is having the acrosome cap, which is being formed by the modification of Golgi complex or either the Golgi apparatus, often containing what? So these do contain the hydrolytic enzyme. So when we are talking about the second feature in terms of your here, in terms of the head portion, so your head is often having what? So your head is having the nucleus, which is containing what? Which is containing the haploid number of chromosomes. Means in terms of what? In terms of 23 in human. Now, the next feature in term when we are dealing with these topics means what are actually the portion of the head literally involved. So in the case of the head, we are having what? So we are having the, tell me, the acrosome. So the acrosome are what? So the acrosome are actually the larger vacuoles. Often these do contain what? So these do contain the hydrolytic enzymes. As well as when we are talking about the next important features in terms of your acrosome, so the head portion will be having the acrosome. These acrosome will be playing an important role for what? In terms of the penetration, in terms of the sperm cell, as well as these do mean in terms of what? The particular acrosome playing an important role to surround the egg or either the here egg cells or either the ovum during the time of what actually? During the time of fertilization. And fertilization is the unique process of the fusion of the male gametes cell or either as well as the female gamete cells. So these are actually what? So these are the sperm cells. When it will be fusing with reference to the egg or either the ovum cells, it results in the process which is regarded as known as what? So these are known as the fertilization. Understood? Now, when we are talking about the next features in term of what? Tell me. In term means what are actually the second part with reference to the typical human sperm. So we are having the middle piece. So the middle piece further or either it is the third step or either the third important part. Before that we are having the particularly neck. Remember, so what is the role of actually the neck? So we could say that neck is present in terms of the middle portion. Between what? So your neck is present in the middle portion or either the neck is present in terms of the between portion with reference to the head as well as the tail portion. You could often say that particularly in term we are having the different parts in term of what? In term of the neck. So your neck is particularly what? So your neck is particularly proximal centriole with reference towards what? With reference towards the head region, as well as these in term of what? These in term of the particularly neck. So these are distal centrioles towards the particularly flagellum region or either the flagellum region, of course. Then we are having what? Then in the third we are having the middle piece, as well as we'll be dealing about that later. But when we are particularly understanding the particular concept of the neck, we do have the certain more parts to understand in it, such as what? Such as when we are talking about the case of the neck, so we are having the distal centrioles. So these distal centrioles literally do what? Tell me. So these distal centrioles literally elongates during the sperm development. Often you could say that the particular important role of the distal centriole is that this runs throughout what? So this runs throughout the next of the portion of the part of the sperm as well as ending it towards what? Ending it towards the here meant of the axial filament of the tail as well as towards the flagellum. It is talking about what are actually the axial filament of tail as well as the flagellum. So these are nothing else but the ending portion with reference to the part of the human sperm. Then we do have the certain of the important parts in it. So we have dealt means what are actually here meant of the particular portion. After that we are having what? So after that we are having the particularly, tell me here, mean in term of nothing else but the particularly middle piece. So you are knowing means what are actually the middle piece. So it is the third most important part with reference to what? So your middle piece is the third important part with reference to the typical human sperm. Often our here in terms of the middle piece is containing the mitochondria as well as what? As well as the spiral MTC. MTC is nothing else here but it is the actually mitochondria. Means your middle piece will be containing what? So middle piece is actually the typical position or either the part of the here meant of the human male sperm, of course. So these will be containing the mitochondria. Then when we are talking about the case here, so these will be containing the spiral MTC, means the mitochondria. Often these are known as what? So often these are known as particularly the Nebenker. As well as when we are talking about the next features in it, so here the role of actually your, tell me, in terms of the mitochondria is that it provides energy with reference to what? So your mitochondria literally provides energy to the sperm in terms of what? In terms of the particularly sperm which is being present where? Which is being present in nothing else position but in terms of the part of the human male sperm. Now, so when we are talking means what are actually the, tell me, in terms of the mitochondria. So mitochondria is what? So mitochondria is literally the rod shaped structure bounded by what? So mitochondria is rod shaped structure bounded by the two membrane. Often the mitochondria are playing important role as well as these are known as what? So your mitochondria are literally known as the site of the aerobic respiration. Knowing means what are actually the aerobic respiration. So the particular type of respiration which will be taking place in the presence of O2, in the presence of oxygen. So these are known as what? So it is known as the aerobic respiration. Often when we are talking means what are actually the aerobic or either just the respiration. Remember very clearly what are actually the respiration. So respiration is the biochemical process which is being involved from the macro level towards the micro level or either the vice versa. Why? Because suppose that when we are inhaling the amount of the gases or either the oxygen, so it will be particularly coming under from the, so when we are talking means what are actually the aerobic respiration. Remember, so it is the type of particularly respiration which are being employed in the presence of oxygen which is actually diatomic in nature. Remember O2 are quite a bit diatomic in nature. And what are actually the respiration? So respiration is the biochemical process which is being involved from the macro level towards the micro level or either the vice versa. Remember, so suppose that when we particularly consume the amount of the oxygen or either the gases from our nose, so it is going throughout the several of the organs in order such as the nose. Then particularly we are often having the particularly windpipe. We do have the particular lungs as well as in which we are having the vital of the organs such as what? Such as the bronchioles, bronchi, then the alveoli, and from these alveoli micro capillaries are being present and these are being attached as well as dispersed towards the different vital organs of the body. Thus the exchange of the gases will be transported by the help of these. Often here the liquid fluid tissue in terms of your blood playing important role. Now, so talking about the next feature, just here we were understanding that the acrosomes which is actually what? Which is present in terms of the head portion or either before the head portion of what? Of the typical human sperm. So these are containing what? So these are actually containing the larger of the lysosomes. So what are actually the lysosomes? Remember, so these are known as the suicidal bag Often these lysosomes was particularly being discovered by what? So these were discovered by the CD Dube in term of the 1955. Means in term of what? The lysosomes was discovered in term of the CD Dube in term of the 1955. Often when we are talking about the next broad characteristics in it, so your lysosomes are what? So these are popularly found in term of the eukaryotic cell. The exception is it is not being found in term of the red blood cell. Often when we are talking about the particular lysosomes, so this particularly bearing the particular here momentum of diameter of around here momentum of the 0.2 to 0.8 μm. So these in term of the lysosomes, these two bounded by the single unit membrane. Means what? Means in term of your lysosomes. Often the next feature about these lysosomes is that so these lysosomes are having the variance in term of the shape and size, as well as these lysosomes show the pleuromorphic nature. Thus these are often known as the pleuromorphic lysosomes. Thus as well as these do not have the particular specialized type of the shape and size, and because of that reason this is known as what? So it is known to have the pleuromorphic lysosomes. Often these lysosomes are quite a bit hydrolytic in nature. Remember, so these are particularly bearing about 40 different types of the hydrolytic enzymes. Means what? Momentum of your here momentum of the lysosomes. Often these lysosomes are popularly known as the acidic here momentum of the acidic hydrolase, of course. So what are actually the, and then when we are talking about these things in terms of the lysosomes, so these do known as what? So your lysosomes is often known as the suicidal bag, as well as your lysosomes are often bearing what? So these bearing the pleuromorphic nature. Thus these are often known as the pleuromorphic lysosomes. Understood? Often we have dealt the bit introduction. Tell me, means what are actually the lysosomes? So your lysosomes, these do bear the variance in terms of the shape and size, as well as when we are talking about the particular nature, so your lysosomes is having the pleuromorphic nature. So these are known as what? So these are popularly called as the pleuromorphic lysosomes. Often we have dealt the bit introduction about these what? About these particularly lysosomes, that these are often known as the suicidal bag. Often your lysosomes are popularly known as the acidic hydrolase. Why? Because these literally break down in terms of the presence of acid. How? So let's elaborate the particular concept. So hydro plus lytic plus enzyme. So hydro means literally the water, and lytic means something will be breaking down in the presence of water, as well as what? As well as the enzymes. So those biocatalysts which increase the decrease of the rate of reaction, particularly being altered. So these are known as what? So these are called as the hydrolytic enzymes. Often we have dealt about the bit introduction about the next feature of the component. So we are having what? So literally we are having the Golgi complex as well as the Golgi apparatus. Remember what are actually Golgi apparatus as well as the Golgi complex. So the particular term of the Golgi complex, which is actually the cell organelles, was given by the Camillo Golgi, who is actually the biologist. Often your part of the what? In terms of the Golgi complex or either the Golgi apparatus is being divided in terms of the 3 to 4 broad category. So these are nothing else but the cisteria, then the tubules, then the vesicles. Often we are having the another component. Just here we have understood the term. So we are having the centrioles. So what are actually the centrioles? So the centrioles are the darker shaped structure, of course. So the centrioles are darker shaped structure playing important role as well as result in the formation of what? So the centrioles are the darker shaped structure which is formed as well as playing important role to form the centrioles. Often your centrioles playing important role as well as these are being surrounded by the cytoplasm by the help of the particular spherical structure. So these are known as nothing else but the here meant of the centriosome sphere. Often we are having the many kind of the another literally micro components or either the part of centrioles. So these are known as what? So these are called as the pericentrioles. So here meant of the centrioles are not very specialized structure, but you could just remember that these are bearing the cylindrical or rather the tubular shaped structure, as well as these are being covered as well as being surrounded by the help of the micro tiny cylindrical shaped structures. So these are called as what? So these are called as the pericentrioles. Often here in term of the centrioles are literally being present in term of most of the eukaryotes. Means what? Means in term of the eukaryotic cell or either in term of the animal cell, but this will be not present in term of the red blood cell, often in term of the plant cell. So understood? So these are some of the components which we have dealt here in term of the stunted manner. Understood? So let's conclude the particular class. So when we are talking about the case of the human reproduction, we have understood about the case of the sperm. So what are actually the sperm? A typical human sperm will be consisting of the 4 of the important parts. So these are what? So these are the head, then the neck, then the middle piece, often the tail. So in the case of the head, we have understood the certain parts, such as the head is being covered by what? So head is being covered by the here meant of the acrosome cap, which is being formed by the modification of Golgi complex or Golgi apparatus. Remember why it was necessary to understand about Golgi complex and Golgi apparatus. In the second, we have dealt the particular features that these in term of the head portion, in term of the acrosome, as well as the literally the head, these contain the nucleus. So these contain the haploid number of the chromosomes, in term of 23 in human. Understood? So chromosomes are nothing but the thread-like structure on which the genes are present. So genes are often being divided in terms of the alleles and allelomorphs. We'll be understanding about these things in detail in terms of the later or now also. So what are actually the alleles and allelomorphs? So the alleles and the allelomorphs are the different form of gene which is being located in terms of the what? In terms of the same locus of chromosome. Often when we are talking about the case of the head portion, which is particularly the typical part of the human male sperm, so these are containing the acrosome. So these are having the larger lysosome. Understood why it was necessary to understand about the lysosome? Often these are having as well as containing the hydrolytic enzymes. Talking about the case of the acrosome, so these play important role in terms of the penetration of the sperm cell. Often these do play an important role to surround the ovum or either the egg cells during the time of fertilization. Then we have dealt the bit introduction, means what are actually the neck. Remember, so neck is nothing particularly but the middle or either the between portion with reference to the head part, then the end part with reference to the tail in term of what? In term of the typical human sperm. Then when we are talking about the position of the sperm in term of the case of the neck, so these are what? So these are proximal centriole towards the head portion. Understood? As well as distal centrioles towards the neck, particularly the tail portion, of course. Then we have dealt the bit introduction about the role of the centrioles. So these centrioles literally what? So these centrioles nothing else but, tell me, these centrioles literally what? So these literally elongates during the development of the sperm. Often we have dealt the bit introduction what? In terms of the centrioles, that these centrioles literally runs throughout the rest of the body parts, resulting in the formation of the axial flagellum tail or either the flagella. Understood? Axial filament tail or either the flagella. Then we have dealt the bit introduction about the middle piece portion also, that these literally contain the mitochondria. Means what? Mean in terms of the spiral MTC, often known as what? Often known as the Nevenker. Then we have dealt the bit introduction in the case of the, tell me, in terms of nothing else but in the case of the middle piece, such as here the MTC means the mitochondria playing important role in terms of the sperm development. So I thought you have got the concept, means what are actually the different components or rather the parts of the human male sperm, which is belonging from the chapter of the human reproduction. So if you like the work with reference to the education as well as the lectures as well as the videos, so you could of course like as well as subscribe, then comment below in the text. Thus all be knowing that what concept actually you are hungry for or what haven't you understood or either got. So very thank you with the reference to the Rahul Anand biology tutorial. So you could often write this.